Harley just dropped a quiet bombshell. With new CEO Artie Starrs in charge, word is spreading that the Milwaukee-Eight's days are done. Insiders call it a complete redesign, lighter, cooler, faster. But loyal riders are asking the only question that matters. Did Harley trade heritage for horsepower? We've seen this before. New bosses, new engines, old promises. This time, though, something feels final. In this video, we'll separate rumor from reality, and at the end, find out whether this new era is the rebirth Harley needs, or the moment it forgets who it's really building for. The announcement that shook the garage. Harley-Davidson has always guarded its engines like a family secret, but this time, the secret roared into daylight. The company's new CEO stood before investors, dealers, and the press, confirming what riders had only whispered about for months. A revolutionary new power plant was officially entering development. It was not an upgrade, not a tune-up, but a complete redesign from the ground up. For decades, the Milwaukee line had leaned on evolution, not revolution. This time, the factory broke its own rule. The statement came quietly at first, buried in a shareholder briefing, but it spread through garages and message boards faster than any press release ever could. For riders who have lived through the long arc of Harley history, from the Evolution engine to the Milwaukee-Eight, this hit differently. Every major engine change has divided the loyal. But this announcement carried a tone that felt final, as if a chapter of mechanical heritage had just closed. The language was careful. A new era of performance and efficiency. To outsiders, that might sound routine, but to those who still change their own oil, it was a thunderclap. Efficiency has never been Harley's battle cry. Torque, sound, and endurance were its faith. Inside Milwaukee, Starrs cut overlap and unified teams under one rule: the engine comes first. Harley's new focus traded flash for function, reliability before refinement, endurance before innovation. It sounded old school, but riders called it sanity. Confidence returned as paper plans turned to steel, though tension lingered. Real change isn't written, it's welded, built through sweat, grit, and purpose that outlasts any marketing line. But a new engine doesn't rise out of thin air. It starts with the person holding the blueprint. New leadership, new ledger. The name now shaping Harley's direction is one that few outside the company had heard before. The new CEO, Artie Starrs, did not walk in from a fashion brand or an investment firm. His background runs deep in production, logistics, and engineering coordination. Insiders describe him as steady, measured, and allergic to noise. A man who builds systems before he builds slogans. That alone sets him apart from the showmen who once chased quarterly headlines instead of long-term stability. Starrs entered the job with one mission: stop the cycle of reinvention for reinvention's sake. The old pattern of changing direction every 2 or 3 years left riders and dealers exhausted. His first public comments weren't about marketing or culture, they were about continuity. "A motorcycle's worth," he said, "comes from knowing it'll still start the same way 10 years from now." For Harley's traditionalists, that sounded like music. Inside Milwaukee, Starrs audited stalled projects and cut overlap, merging teams under one banner. The engine comes first. Harley's new plan traded image for mechanics. Less flash, more function. His mantra was simple: reliability first, refinement second, innovation third. It sounded old-fashioned, but to real riders, it was sanity. You can't innovate what won't endure. Confidence started returning, though tension rose as contracts shifted and loyalties strained. Change that deep isn't ink on paper. It's forged in steel, sweat, and purpose. That mission took shape inside Harley's boardroom, where new budgets and blueprints quietly rewrote the company's future. If you've ever turned a wrench on your own Harley, or still remember your first long haul, hit that like button and drop a comment. Tell us what you're riding today. Inside the boardroom turn. Behind closed doors in Milwaukee, the change wasn't theatrical. It was clinical. The board didn't announce a revolution with fireworks. They funded one with precision. The shift began with a redistribution of research and development dollars. Old projects that chased trends were paused. Supplier contracts were renegotiated to favor long-term stability over cost-cutting. The new directive was simple: one engine family, many roles. Industry insiders say Harley's Phase Next plan is built on modular thinking. Instead of crafting unique engines for every line, the company is developing a shared platform that can evolve across touring, cruiser, and performance models. That means parts compatibility, faster production, and a more disciplined supply chain. It's a concept many manufacturers use, but Harley adopting it marks a philosophical turn. The company known for individuality is now betting on unification. This isn't retreat, it's realism. Sustainability now means smarter manufacturing, not slogans. Every redesign burns millions. Every delay burns trust. By consolidating production, Harley tightens quality, cuts recall risk, and updates faster. Inside the boardroom, strategy replaced defense. The new CEO redirected funds from marketing to machining, torque testing over taglines, metallurgy over image. It's quiet discipline, not flash, but it's what keeps dealership lights glowing a decade from now. In an age chasing trends, Harley's shift feels old school again. Proof that endurance, not hype, still defines real performance and earns lasting loyalty. But blueprints and budgets only matter when they reach the riders who live with the results. Quick pit stop. Riding gear, tools, and accessories trusted by real bikers are all linked in the description below. What it means for real riders. For riders who still turn their own wrenches, these corporate shifts are more than headlines. They shape real life. A new engine means new parts, new maintenance cycles, and new learning curves for every mechanic who's trusted the same torque specs for decades. It means dealership service techs must retrain, aftermarket suppliers must adapt, and garage shelves must make room for different gaskets and tools. More than that, it stirs emotion. Many riders built their pride around understanding every bolt on their Harley. When that design changes, it's not just the machine evolving, it's their knowledge base, their connection, even their resale value. The fear is understandable. Every time Harley introduces a major mechanical shift, the previous generation feels the pinch in trade-in value. That's history repeating itself, from the twin-cam changeover to the Milwaukee-Eight rollout. This time, optimism feels earned. Early data hints at longer service intervals, cooler runs, and torque that holds under load. Durability finally matching tradition. A standardized platform means predictable parts, keeping local mechanics alive and older bikes roadworthy. For riders who count every mile and dollar, that steadiness matters more than horsepower hype. Milwaukee's ground has shifted again, not in panic, but purpose. Harley isn't just reworking engines, it's rebuilding trust between the factory and the faithful. But announcements don't change legacies. Engines do. Torque and thermal truths. The heart of Harley's revolution isn't found in a headline. It's forged in the shape and sound of its new power plant. Engineers inside Milwaukee call it the most balanced motor the company has ever built. Gone are the compromises that once traded torque for comfort or heat for heritage. This new design was built to deliver real-world endurance without cooking the rider or sacrificing the thump that defines the brand. Early reports from dyno testing show smoother torque delivery from the low end up through mid-range. Instead of a sudden surge followed by a fade, the pull stays consistent, something riders feel most on long climbs or heavy two-up loads. One test document describes the new curve as flat, confident, and repeatable. That repeatability is what matters when the sun is beating down, traffic crawls, and the temperature gauge hovers near the edge. The engineers focused on airflow and oil routing that keeps the rear cylinder cooler, the exact area where older models punished riders in stop-and-go conditions. Reworked cooling channels and oil flow cut idle heat so jeans no longer scorch at red lights. On long rides, the engine stays steady, same pull at hour 6 as mile 1. Throttle feel remains pure Harley. Heavy, deliberate, muscular. It's not about redline bragging. It's about effortless torque and control. This isn't a revolution of sound. It's one of composure and endurance. But an engine is only half the story. A new heart needs a stronger spine to carry it. The frame that fights back. For years, Harley's touring frames carried more than metal. They carried a reputation for flex under load. On high-speed sweepers or uneven back roads, older setups could twist slightly, forcing riders to countersteer and adjust mid-corner. Engineers knew that to match a new power plant, the skeleton had to evolve too. That's where the new frame design steps in, a structure where the engine itself becomes part of the support system. This approach, known in engineering circles as a stressed member design, lets the power plant carry some of the frame's load. It reduces total weight while improving rigidity. Riders who've tested prototypes report that the first impression isn't visual, it's physical. The bike feels planted. When leaning through long curves or maneuvering through highway crosswinds, the chassis stays composed, transmitting less vibration and wobble to the handlebars. Harley trimmed frame weight by making the engine a structural link, cutting mass without losing strength. The result is steadier handling and less rider fatigue, engineering you feel, not read. Comfort also improves. Lower center of gravity, refined suspension, smoother rides. Long hauls now feel easier, corners sharper. For once, riders won't defend quirks. This transformation isn't marketing. It's math and metal working in harmony. But even the smartest designs fall flat if the factory behind them can't keep every weld, cut, and tolerance perfect. Factory precision. Step inside Harley's modernized production floors, and the story becomes clear. The changes under new leadership didn't stop at blueprints. They reached every assembly line in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. The new machining centers look more like aerospace facilities than traditional motorcycle plants. Computer-guided milling, robotic welding, and laser alignment tools now handle the parts that once depended on manual gauges and experience alone. This modernization doesn't erase craftsmanship, it strengthens it. Veteran machinists now work alongside automation, checking tolerances that measure in microns instead of millimeters. Every block is scanned for imperfections before it leaves the casting line. Oil channels are mapped with precision sensors to detect any obstruction. Even paint application follows temperature-controlled procedures to ensure identical finish from batch to batch. These aren't luxury upgrades, they're survival measures. Reliability builds loyalty, and Harley's new engine proves it. Early runs passed endurance tests with near-perfect consistency. No loose bolts, no odd vibes, just disciplined craftsmanship. The quiet heroes are factory veterans, many second generation, who know precision keeps riders' trust. Their pride isn't in speed, but repeatability. Every shift they work preserves heritage through skill, proving modern engineering can advance without sterilizing the soul that built it. But precision alone doesn't sell motorcycles. Compliance and confidence must walk hand in hand if riders are to trust the steel. Built for the rulebook. No motorcycle escapes the reach of modern regulations. Emission limits, sound caps, and inspection cycles shape every bolt that reaches the showroom. In the past, Harley fought those rules with patchwork solutions, heat shields, exhaust tweaks, fuel maps that pushed limits. This new design plays a different game, compliance from the inside out. Engineers began the process by studying where past models struggled to meet evolving standards. Instead of forcing performance to fit regulation, they built regulation into performance. Combustion efficiency improved through refined valve timing and fuel atomization. That means a cleaner burn, less wasted fuel, and steadier power without the heavy breathing that older air-cooled designs struggled with. Yet, crucially, the sound remains unmistakably Harley, deep, rhythmic, and proud. Noise rules usually kill character, but this engine's tone nails balance, deep, legal, alive. It's rebellion refined, not erased. Meeting emissions now protects resale, letting riders cross states without worry. Compliance becomes armor, not surrender. Harley finally proved that surviving inspection doesn't mean losing soul. For loyal riders, this cleaner, prouder heartbeat isn't compromise. It's vindication. The motor still growls with pride. It just breathes smarter. Metal might move the machine, but men move the meaning. Old hands speak up. When the first whispers about Harley's new engine hit the back roads, the reaction wasn't silence. It was a roar of mixed emotions. The veterans who've been around since the shovelhead days didn't rush to celebrate. They listened, watched, and waited. For them, change has never been just about performance. It's about identity. Many remember the last time the factory promised evolution without losing the soul, and not all of them were convinced it delivered. At a diner off Route 66, one gray-bearded rider summed up the mood. If it don't shake, it ain't Harley. He wasn't being stubborn. He was protecting a lifetime of memories tied to that sound and feel. But even he admitted curiosity. If they can make it run cooler and pull harder without killing that heartbeat, I'll give it a look. That balance between skepticism and pride echoes across the country. Riders want progress, but they don't want to lose what made the machine more than transportation. Younger riders who grew up on the Milwaukee-Eight praise smoother shifts and fewer repairs, saying it's time Harley caught up. The divide isn't age, it's memory. Veterans measure by miles, newcomers by feel. Yet for once, both sides are hopeful. In late-night garages filled with oil and radio hum, the talk isn't complaint. It's curiosity that Harley might finally bridge old pride and new precision. But out on the sales floors, optimism sounds different when bills and inventory stand in the way. Dealers in the crossfire. Dealerships have always lived between loyalty and the ledger. When Harley's leadership announced the new platform, the first wave of excitement was quickly followed by anxiety. Dealers know that every new era means old stock sitting longer, mechanics needing retraining, and customers hesitating before buying what could soon feel outdated. A fresh engine might thrill the engineers, but it freezes the showroom until people know the facts. Across the Midwest, some dealers quietly discounted remaining Milwaukee-Eight models to clear space for the unknown. They've seen this before. When the twin cam replaced the Evolution, it took nearly 2 years for confidence to return. Buyers wanted proof, not promises. Salesmen found themselves doing more explaining than selling, reminding customers that parts and service wouldn't disappear overnight. Many see this shift as painful but promising. A reliable new platform means steadier profits and fewer parts headaches. Training costs sting, yet smart dealers treat them as investments, not losses. Updated diagnostics and tools bring long-term payoff. Fewer warranty claims and happier riders. In every showroom, tension hums like an idling engine, uneasy, hopeful, waiting for proof that this rebuild truly delivers clarity. Inside the dealerships, the debate is practical. Out on the road, it turns philosophical. The soul of the machine itself is on trial. If you love real rider talk and want the truth before the headlines hit, subscribe now, because every week we uncover what's really happening inside Milwaukee's walls before anyone else. The Soul Debate. The clash between tradition and modernization isn't new, but this time it's louder. In bars, online forums, and rallies from Daytona to Sturgis, riders argue about what defines a Harley. Is it the sound, the stance, or the story behind it? One group claims the brand must evolve to survive, while the other warns that chasing modernity erases what made the bikes timeless in the first place. Both are right in their own way. For the loyalists, a Harley should still vibrate like it's alive. The sound, that slow, syncopated rhythm, feels like conversation between man and machine. They see the company's push toward precision as sanding down the rough edges that gave the brand its character. To them, smoother means softer, and softer means soulless. But those who've logged long hauls through brutal summers counter that comfort doesn't kill authenticity. They say an engine that runs cooler, lasts longer, and leaks less is the true spirit of progress. Harley's soul sits between heritage and progress. Each upgrade risks angering purists, yet refusing change means fading away. The truth lies between nostalgia and innovation that honors it. A smoother Harley doesn't erase the past, it extends it. When an old rider hands the keys to the next generation saying, "Keep it upright," that's legacy. Respect passed through sound, steel, and the shared heartbeat of the road. And while philosophy fuels the debates, the reality of ownership still comes down to something simpler: dollars and miles. Dollars and miles. For every rider on the fence about Harley's direction, the deciding factor often sits in the wallet. New technology means higher cost up front, but the promise is savings over time. Early dealer estimates show that this new engine might stretch service intervals and improve fuel efficiency modestly, but the bigger savings come from reduced wear and heat damage. When an engine runs cooler and cleaner, it stays stronger longer, and that's what keeps road trips going without bleeding the bank account. Maintenance is another test of truth. Many riders, especially those who wrench at home, worry that the redesign might lock them out with proprietary tools or sensors. According to internal memos, Harley aims to preserve basic serviceability. Oil changes, filters, plugs, and belts remain straightforward. What changes is precision. Tighter tolerances mean you'll need to follow the schedule carefully, not casually. For old-school mechanics, that's not a problem. It's a challenge worth mastering. Resale is the quiet victory. When a new engine proves reliable early, used values stay strong, respect that shows in both market and street. But ownership is more than numbers. It's the pride of a smooth start after winter, the satisfaction of a flawless 1,000-mile run. The new Harley may cost more, but if it rebuilds trust, every long-haul rider becomes part of the reward. While the faithful weigh their loyalties, the rest of the industry is already reacting. Rivals on edge, competition in the motorcycle world rarely moves quietly, but Harley's latest move sent ripples straight through the boardrooms of its oldest rivals. Across the ocean, executives at BMW, Honda, and Indian were forced to take notice. When a brand once accused of being stuck in nostalgia suddenly builds something new and it works, the ripple becomes a wave. BMW has dominated the touring class for years with precision and technology, but Harley's new engine brought something the Germans can't replicate: emotion with endurance. Dealers in Munich reportedly held emergency product meetings after early dyno results surfaced. The numbers weren't about bragging rights, they showed parity. A Harley, for the first time in decades, was matching European machines in efficiency without losing that low-end punch. Honda's engineers, long the benchmark for reliability, now study Harley's sudden resurgence with uneasy respect. If Milwaukee can modernize without losing heritage, we can't coast, one admitted. Indian faces the bigger fight, its classic-made modern identity now challenged by Harley's genuine engineering comeback. Across design rooms worldwide, that new Milwaukee heartbeat echoes, reminding every rival what real torque, tradition, and road-born soul are supposed to feel like. But the success of any machine, no matter how advanced, still depends on the hands that build it. Hands behind the steel. In the end, it isn't board members or marketing teams that give a motorcycle its soul. It's the men and women who build it. Inside Harley's plants in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Missouri, the crews know that. Every shift begins the same way: the hum of machinery, the scent of cutting oil, and the quiet pride of workers who understand that what they're assembling isn't just transportation, it's heritage. Since the leadership change, morale inside the factories has shifted from caution to cautious pride. The company's renewed investment in modern machining and training brought stability back to the shop floor. Longtime machinists say the new management listens more, and that small detail, respect, translates directly into better craftsmanship. Union representatives confirm the same sentiment. When workers feel valued, precision follows naturally. Years of uncertainty left workers wary, but this new era feels different. Harley doubled down on American manufacturing. More training, more apprentices, real jobs that last. These aren't employees, they're stewards of tradition. Every bolt and polish carries pride and legacy. "We're holding the brand together," one tech said. When the new engine rolls out, it bears their fingerprints, the proof that Harley's story is being reforged, not replaced. But while the workers keep the flame alive, lawmakers and regulators are tightening the ring around the industry's freedom. The policy horizon. Every decade brings a new set of rules meant to reshape what freedom looks like on two wheels. The latest wave comes not from engineers or riders, but from policy desks in Washington and Brussels. Emission caps, noise ordinances, and import tariffs now shape every design meeting and factory shift. For a company that built its name on rebellion, this might seem like a cage. But Harley's strategy shows quiet defiance dressed in discipline. Instead of fighting regulators, the company learned how to outlast them. The new engine's internal design already meets the strictest upcoming standards, giving Harley breathing room while rivals scramble for updates. This proactive approach isn't submission, it's survival. While others chase exemptions, Harley builds compliance into its bones. That means fewer recalls, cleaner approvals, and faster global access. Tariffs remain a battlefield. Trade disputes raised export costs, but Harley's new leadership is rebuilding supplier ties and securing better European terms to keep American steel rolling. At home, new fuel and safety mandates add pressure, yet the modular design lets Harley adapt without starting over. In a world where every rule feels like a cage, quiet resilience, not rebellion, keeps freedom alive and the engine running strong. And when the laws settle and the welders go home, what remains is the open road, the place where the story still belongs. The road ahead. The roar that started in Milwaukee more than a century ago has never really stopped. It's just changed rhythm with time. Every generation has called their own Harley the real one, and every generation before them has said the same. The truth is simpler. The spirit never left. It just keeps adapting to survive. What riders are witnessing now isn't the end of an era. It's proof that the old one still breathes. The new engine is more than metal. It's a promise kept. It tells every rider who's ever doubted the company's direction that the heart of Harley still beats for the road, not the stock market. The refinements, the discipline, the patience, they all lead back to one thing: a machine that still answers to the throttle, not to trend forecasts. The next years will test whether Harley's leaders can stay the course. Markets will shift, younger riders will chase cheaper speed. Yet for those who've carried the banner through decades of grit, this feels like vindication. The bike they loved is evolving without surrender. In garages across America, old hands will still debate engines. But when a new Harley fires up and the floor trembles, silence will say it all. They said the engine era was over, but the sound rolling out of Milwaukee says otherwise. So there it is. Harley's making big promises, and time will prove if they're bold or blind. Around here, we don't buy hype, we ride facts. What do you think? Is this new era the real deal, or just another corporate experiment? Let me know down in the comments. I read every one of them. If you want more real biker breakdowns, no clickbait, no fluff, hit that like, subscribe, and share this with a buddy who still rides for the sound, not the stock price.